Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Kansas Missing Unsolved podcast. I'm Ricky Chabruggi. Joining me again is Ashley Dove. How you doing tonight, Ashley?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Tonight is a special show. I posted earlier today about it, but today is Kansas Missing Unsolved's 8-year anniversary. I can't believe I've been doing this 8 years.
I know.
The show we've only been doing 8 weeks, but I mean the page I've been doing for 8 years. It's hard to believe. A lot has happened in the last 8 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we're going to try to do a little bit different things. We're going to incorporate some of the more interesting things that have happened on the page in the last 8 years, as well as covering some other cases as well. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Megan Fogelsong's case tonight as well.
Yes.
So yeah, we got hopefully be a pretty good show, I think.
It will be. It will be. Yep. Yeah, I think. Congratulations. You've done some amazing things and some amazing work. So great job on 8 years. And
yeah, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
I can't believe it's been 8 years, but man, it's gone by fast. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Let's see. What's up first tonight?
We have Clarence Moore.
Okay. Yeah, that was an actual interesting one there. He let me pull his information back up. We're going to get a visual on him here in just a second. But he was one that went missing from Fort Riley, Kansas back in 1956. And I had gotten a message one afternoon back in 2000, I think it was 2018, from a grandson of his that he had actually been living up in Canada under a different name. And his grandson informed me at the time that the FBI was involved, DNA testing had been done, and confirmed that he was indeed Clarence Moore. And he sadly had passed before identification and everything had been made. But I mean,
wow.
Yeah. But he'd been living in Canada. I'm trying to remember what the name was. He was living up under there. It was Rod. Let me look here. I can tell you real quick. Because I looked it up earlier. As soon as I find what I'm looking for here. Oh, where is it? I just looked it up this morning. And I actually had it saved at the bottom of my computer screen until I had to restart my computer because it was being slow. Let's see. He was living under the name of... Hang on a minute. I'm going back into the conversation I had with his grandson. I screenshotted that whole entire conversation.
Doesn't it always make you wonder, what the circumstance exactly was there? I wonder why.
It does. It does.
Did that?
I mean, I don't know if it was just something that, if he was just trying to get out of the Army, or if there was something else going on, or that he was trying to get away from, or what the situation was.
Right.
I'm trying to find that. I wish I could find that. I looked it up, but it was under Rogers. I can't remember the name now, but anyway, like I said, I spoke with his grandson in Canada, and we had a nice long conversation. He said he wanted to let me know, and it was really nice of him to do that. And I was hoping we could get the side-by-side photo up there of him. It was actually the flyer with a more recent photo of him before his passing. I wonder where our photos are tonight. Did it come up and I just not see it?
Clarence's? It's here.
Yeah.
It's here.
Okay. Because I'm not seeing it on mine. I'm still having some computer issues, I guess. But yeah, you can see the original flyer that I had done with his military photo, and then the other photo of him. He was an older gentleman. But I mean, you can definitely, look at the face and tell it's definitely him. But like I said, the FBI did DNA testing and everything to confirm.
That's great.
So, But that was an interesting one. Like I said, his grandson he messaged the Kansas Missing Unsolved Twitter just out of the blue that day and said he wanted to let me know what was going on. And I thought
Nice.
that was really nice of him to do.
That doesn't happen too often, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I was really surprised, as I said, he'd been missing since 1956. So I mean, that's a pretty old case.
That's good.
Yeah.
Glad he was located safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you ready to move along to the next one?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. And I believe that was Gina Cyphers, wasn't it?
It is.
Okay. I'm running behind here because, like I said, I had everything pulled up, ready to go, and I had to restart my computer and lost every bit of it. Technology, you got to love it as long as it works, but then as soon as it starts having problems.
Well, you and I both had problems tonight, and typically I'm the only one that's having the issues. So I'm glad to share that with you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Gina Cyphers was 24 years old at the time of her death. She had an infant son. On December 28, 1995, she dropped her 15-month-old son at a daycare called Morning Out for Moms. It was hosted by the Salina Church. When she didn't return a couple hours later, the daycare called Cypress's boyfriend at work. He went to the mobile home they shared and found her brutally murdered. It was the trailer park that had happened and doesn't exist anymore. It's pretty much been bulldozed under. But it was a crowded mobile home, kind of over in the west central part of town. It happened sometime between noon and 9 o'clock that morning. Initial report said that she'd been stabbed, but police are still keeping a lot of details secret. They said they've had a lot of leads that haven't really gone anywhere. If anybody has any information regarding her homicide, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 826-7210. And hopefully, or you can go to kansascrimestoppers.com and submit information anonymously there as well. She's definitely a pretty young lady.
She is.
Yeah, definitely is. It was sad that had happened to her.
I know it. Yeah, young too. Yeah, that's sad. Hopefully we can bring justice to her case.
Yeah, hopefully we can.
Yeah. Okay, next is Dalton Bail.
That was another one. That was an interesting one. I had actually I kind of touched on this one a little bit last week, a little bit. I'm going to kind of go into more detail about it here. A gentleman that runs a missing persons group called Homeless Lives Matter messaged me. I'll get you his name here momentarily. This is what I'm looking for. His name is James Worley. He messaged me one day, and all he said in his message was, "I found one of your kids." And I was like, sitting there thinking to myself, okay, what is he talking about? Who's he referring to? And I can't remember. I think a day or two or so went by, and he messaged me a second time and sent me the photo that you see on. I'm hoping you see on screen. It's a photo of himself with Dalton Bail holding up the flyer that I had made. He had found Dalton in Los Angeles, California. He had been sleeping on the steps of a church there in LA and had been cited 2 or 3 times by LAPD for loitering and vagrancy because he was sleeping on the steps of a church. And they never did bother to do any kind of a background check on him or anything. And if they would have done that, they would have seen he was missing out of Kansas.
Yeah.
But apparently failed to do that. James Worley actually took it upon himself to go ahead and help get him in communication with his parents and help him make his way back to his parents. And actually, a radio station here in town, KSL.com, they did a nice little write-up about the whole thing, and they included a picture of Dalton with his parents after they were reunited once he made it back to Kansas. And the last I had heard on Dalton was that he had gone into the Army like he'd wanted to do. That was something he'd been wanting to do. Was yeah, there's a picture of Dalton with James Worley holding the flyer there.
And
but
they even look alike.
Yeah, a little bit, don't they?
They do.
A little bit. Looks like Dalton in that picture, he kind of shaved his hair because the picture I had on the flyer, his hair was grown out a lot longer at that point. But it was really good that he found him and let me know and got him back to his family. So hopefully Dalton's doing well in the Army and doing what he wants to do. I mean, that was, another one just out of the blue. I get this message saying, "Hey, I found one of your kids." And, I like seeing things like that, and hopefully I'll see more of that. It's really nice when they're found safe like that. Wasn't good he was sleeping homeless on the streets out in LA. That's not somewhere I'd want to be sleeping on the streets.
No. Well, anywhere for that matter, but
yeah, anywhere for that matter.
No, we don't get those positive results very often, so
yeah,
good.
Those two are some of the more interesting ones that in the last 8 years that I've run across. And I mentioned in my post earlier that I have talked to so many families of so many different missing people over the last 8 years, whether it's juveniles, whether it's adults, or and I mean, whether it's been by phone or by message, you can always either hear or sense the anguish in their messages or in their voice and things like that. And if there's any comments coming up on the screen, Ashley, let me know because I'm not seeing those.
I haven't even been paying attention to the comments.
I'm seeing one from Jordan Richard. Any update on a friend of mine, Cole Fierstein from Kansas area? That name sounds familiar. I'll have to dig into that and see. I do remember that name, though.
Yeah.
I think Brenda left out a word there. It says, absolutely everything you all do. I think it's supposed to be absolutely love, I hope. Anything new on my sister Tanya Knight, 23-year-old unsolved murder? We will get that. We'll get her case on the next show so I can do some digging in and seeing if I can find anything new. I need to. James Thomas Swartwood still missing, is now wanted in questioning regarding incest charges, and that's something I did not know. Thank you for that information, Michelle. I remember John Swartwood. I remember making his flyer. I do remember that. I'm trying to get me something to write with so I can take some notes here. Okay. And what was the other? Tanya Knight. Okay, got those two down so I don't forget.
Okay.
All right. Sorry about that. But okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay. We'll let you take that one, Ashley.
All right. So Megan Renee Fogelsong went missing from Alden, Kansas, late November, early December of 2015. At the time she went missing, she was 21 years old. She would be 26 years old today. She's 5'4", weighs approximately 150 pounds. She has sandy blonde hair and green eyes. Megan's last activity on Facebook was November 30th, 2015. There was an unconfirmed sighting around Christmas at a liquor store. At the time of Megan's I already said that.
Yeah.
How old she was. Anyway. Sorry, both of you know I've been a little bit frazzled today.
Yeah.
So, Derek, do you have the other picture I sent you of Madden? One of them. Can Derek hear us?
I think so.
Anyway, we'll just.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up. Just give me just a second. Go ahead and talk and I'll pull it up for you.
No problem. Thank you. Anyway, so, as you know, of course, our search group, has been searching for Megan and, of course, other missing loved ones. But the reason we're talking about Megan again tonight is because tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary that David Madden, who is the number one suspect in Megan's case, we had a shootout with the cops here, with two of our sheriff and our under sheriff, and we'll also get their pictures pulled up too. And then he also killed his father and then turned the gun on himself. So that we're coming up tomorrow will be the 1 year anniversary of those horrific events. And David had been indicted by the ATF for the 23rd of April, 2019. Don't know if that triggered any of this or not. We can all just guess, but that did happen April 23rd of 2019. So anyway, like I said, he got pulled over here in town, in my town, Sterling. He got pulled over by our undersheriff who had just gotten off duty, Chad Murphy. He hadn't been pulled over for 30 seconds. This happened just a few minutes after 5:00 p.m. And Chad was shot 4 times. David Madden and his girlfriend at the time and her 6-year-old son were all in the same vehicle. So they fled the scene. They drove. There we go. There he is. They fled the scene. They went back to Alden, to his house. He ran inside real quick. He grabbed more guns and ammo, drove out west in rural Raymond to his father's house, had a shootout with our sheriff. He shot our sheriff, and had a shootout with some other Ellie, and then he shot his father and killed his father, and then he turned the gun on himself. So, we've had a lot of people along the way say, oh gosh, now we'll never know where Megan is. And I absolutely disagree with that statement because, look at this monster. And that's exactly what he was. He was a monster. He would have never told us where he put Megan anyways, or if he didn't put her somewhere, then where someone else did.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. He probably never would have.
Yeah.
But you're right, though. I was one of the ones, too, that when I heard he had shot himself, I was like, well, he took whatever information he had regarding, what he did to her to the grave with him, too. But you're right. He never would have told anyway.
No. He was a coward. He was, point blank. He was a coward. He would have never told anyone. He'd already been, of course, questioned, about Megan's case by KBI. So he would have never told anybody. And it's sad. It's sad. But, we're going to find her. We will. We're going to find her.
Oh, I know you will.
And as soon as all of these events happened, he was named the number one suspect, in Megan's case. And KBI had never named him the number one suspect prior to that. But as soon as all of this happened, then they did name him the number one suspect.
Right.
So can we get a picture of our sheriff and our under sheriff? There we go.
There we go. Now, which one's which in that photo?
Yeah, so Bryant Evans, our sheriff, is the one in the black long sleeve, and he's okay. He got shot in the leg. He's fine. Physically fine, obviously. Chad Murphy is our under sheriff. He is the one that got shot he's the one that pulled him over. Sorry about my phone, guys. He's the one that pulled Madden over and got Madden shot him 4 times. Chad just recently returned back to work. And he's doing well. I spoke to him this morning. Both of these gentlemen are great friends of mine. but yeah, Chad spent a lot of time in the hospital, spent a lot of time in rehab, and he's doing well. And I just have to say, our little community here, our town, our county really rallied together. I mean, of course, this doesn't, people always say, oh, these kind of things don't happen in, say, Sterling, Kansas, or our population is 2,500 people. But
Right.
like this can happen, obviously. It did happen. And it's amazing how everyone just rallies together and is so supportive. And, honestly, it affects each and every person in a different way. Of course, the Madden family, was obviously very affected. Tom Madden, Tom Sr., was a wonderful man. And I did know him personally. He was a wonderful man. And, he left behind, kids, grandkids, and, your heart just aches for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that, besides them, the community, everyone is has been trying to move forward in a positive manner, which
Right.
is a good thing. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'm sure that there's, emotions run high are running high for a lot of people right now, because we're coming up, like I said, tomorrow's the 1-year anniversary that these horrific events took place.
Mm-hmm.
And, my heart goes out to everybody.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hopefully you guys will find her soon. It's hard telling, what he might have done with her, but hopefully you'll find her soon.
I know. I agree. And, we've made progress in Megan's case. And so that's satisfying. We've made progress, and, we'll do our best. That's all I say. We'll do our best.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad that there's people out there that are like that have to feel like they have to hurt other people.
I know it.
Right now we don't have it set up to where we're sending out emails or anything. I wish we did. I mean, I would actually even like to even get an app developed, but I'm not sure how to do all that stuff. So that's something maybe in the long range, maybe we can get something like that going. That's a good question. I don't know why Johnson County won't do that. I wish they would. Maybe they would get more information generated if they would do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I've noticed other law enforcement agencies, in addition to not offering rewards, some of them keep things really tight to the vest and really don't put out much information. And I'm sure there's information that they could release that wouldn't hurt an investigation. And a lot of investigators are really good about releasing information in order to get information, because sometimes that's what you have to do. You have to release what you can in order to get information returned to you. And I know there's law enforcement agencies that just don't do that.
Yeah, and I don't get that. I don't get that at all.
No, either.
Mm-mm.
Close 5, been gone for 6 months. Yeah, I remember Cole. Writing his name down too, so I can dig into him a little bit. See if I can update his flyer a little bit and get it reposted again.
Which Cole are we talking about?
Cole Fierstein.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, that's another task that I actually had somebody helping me do, and that was going back through all the old flyers and seeing which ones are still missing, which ones have been cleared, so I can start making more updates. And I had somebody who was actually doing a really good job of helping me do that, and they had other things come up and couldn't continue to help anymore. So I'm struggling to try to get updates made. There's that picture of Madden again.
There he is. Yes, he actually wasn't ever diagnosed with PTSD, and David was in the Marines. He actually never saw, he never went overseas. He wasn't in a war. We had his military, or not we, excuse me, his military records were released. And he was never diagnosed, to my knowledge, at least, with PTSD. So I don't know. Not 100%.
I don't think I've ever heard that before regarding him, PTSD or not.
No, I don't believe he did. Some people that are close with or were close with him have thrown that out there, but as far as his military records and other things that were released, there was nothing on there. So
yeah. And I was able, I don't know if you remember shows past, we had Giovanni Ross's mom was putting comments in some of the comments during the shows about getting her son Giovanni Ross found. Well, I can tell you he's been found. They found him in Leavenworth, so he is located. So I cleared his flyer yesterday, as a matter of fact. So
Good.
glad to see that he was found.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, because it seems like it goes the other way more so than it goes the good and positive way.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know.
Yeah. I've had a lot of people. We've covered Kenny Rychek's flyer, his case, within the first 2 or 3 shows, and I've still had a lot of people messaging me asking me if there's any updates on his case, and I haven't seen or heard or read any updates on his case at all. And there again, Solano Police Department hasn't put out any kind of updates on his case or anything either. So, I mean, I don't know if there's...
It's hard because there's, some of these cases you don't get any tips, you don't get any leads, or if you do get some, maybe nothing became of them, Right. So sometimes it's hard, like for you to update flyers, for us to search, because we might not have anything to go off of.
Right. And thankfully, I've had a couple of people here in town get a hold of me and say, hey, if you can print us the flyers, we'll put them up, for Kenny. And I did that. And they actually came out to where I work and picked them up and took them out and put them up.
Very nice.
Yeah. And I'm really grateful that they did that, because I just haven't had time to do anything like that. And so I'm glad they helped me out with that, because that was a big help to get those out there.
Yes.
Yeah. But hopefully we can find out something on him. I mean, he was a big fixture around this town for lots and lots of years, going back to my teen years, if not before that, because I talked about that show, watching him play pinball at some of the gas stations on the corner, which kind of dates me a little bit, but because you can't find a pinball machine anywhere anymore. But back then, I used to stand there and watch him play pinball and talk to him while he was playing pinball. He always talked to everybody, never had a harsh word for anybody. And, there were a couple people, well, mostly younger people, that would call him some derogatory names that I didn't really care too much about when they were calling him that. I didn't think it was right. But he was known by some people as sad to say, Kenny Rejects. I hate to say that, but that's what he was known as by a lot of people.
So a lady said she may have seen someone who looked like Kenny today.
Yeah, I saw the post. It was in the Salina Police Scanner. I saw the post and read their comments, and she commented later on down that she was mistaken, that it was not him. So, wish it would have been, but it wasn't.
Right. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, so it was a guy that strongly resembled him, but it wasn't. So, hopefully we can get him found. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do we need to do a recap tonight, or should we do a recap?
It's your show. It's your movie.
Well, let's recap Gina's ciphers, and we'll recap hers, and we can, if you want to recap a little bit on Megan's again, we can.
Okay, that'll work.
On December 28th, 1995, Gina Cyphers dropped off her 15-month-old son at a daycare program called Morning Out for Moms that was hosted by a Salina church. When she did not return a couple hours later, the daycare called her boyfriend, and he went to the mobile home that they shared and found that she had been brutally murdered. It was a crowded mobile home park, kind of in the west central part of town. It happened sometime between noon and 9 o'clock, or between noon and 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, it was supposed to be midnight, 9 in the morning, so it's kind of backwards. Initial reports said she'd been stabbed, but police are keeping a lot of details close to the vest. They said there have been a lot of leads, but they haven't really taken them anywhere. If you have any information on Gina's death, call the Solana, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 and see if we can help generate some information to get this case solved, because she definitely deserves to be able to rest in peace. Or you can call KBI 785-296-4017. And then if you want, you can recap Megan's case there a little bit if you want to.
Okay. Megan Renee Fogelsong went missing from Alden, Kansas, late November, early December of 2015. She was 21 years old at the time. She would be 26 today. She is 5'4", weighs approximately 150 pounds, has sandy blonde hair and green eyes. You know, if anything, please either message Ricky's page or message our search group page, which is Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice. And well, if you know, nothing is too small. So, you know, even if you just think, oh, that is probably irrelevant or that's no big deal, please just pass it along to especially us, because we are the ones out with boots on the ground. So, but really pass it along to anyone and they'll pass it along to us. So if you know of anything, any little tip is helpful. And going back to, you know, the 1 year anniversary of Madden, and but more so, I would like to concentrate just for a minute here on our sheriff and undersheriff. There we go. So our sheriff Brian Evans is in the black shirt. Our undersheriff Chad Murphy is on the right. And, you know, these two, along with many other law enforcement officers, really stepped up, came through. I mean, we had, I don't even want to say how many, you know, different agencies were here, because I don't know. I know we just had several surrounding counties that came in to assist, and we're grateful that these two are okay. Obviously very sad that Tom Madden, you know, lost his life, but he was a great man. So we're grateful that the sheriff and undersheriff are doing, you know, physically they're doing okay, and thankful that no one else lost their lives too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good to see they're back in action again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've already covered Gina's again. Did they check out the husband? That I do not know. I never have heard one way or another on that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely been an eventful 8 years, you know, and like I said in my post earlier this morning, you know, with God's help, I launched this thing, and He continues to guide this thing, and you know, I'll keep doing it as long as I'm needed to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's been 8 years already, you know, and again, like I alluded to in my post, you know, I've had contact with so many families and law enforcement agencies and things like that, working on flyers for some law enforcement agencies around the state. And, you know, I think, you know, I'm really grateful to them that they reached out to me and say, hey, can you help us? You know, Wichita is one that I do a lot for. I do a lot for them.
Good. Yep, you do great work, and you know.
Next program will be a week from this. Sorry, the next program will be a week from this Thursday. Yes, I wrote it down, 7th. Okay. May 7th, 9 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be on time next week without any technical difficulties.
No promises.
Yeah. Seems like there's always a glitch somewhere.
I know. Like I said, it's usually me, so I'm glad that was you tonight. I'm just kidding.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it takes a village. You know, it takes a team, lots of teams to bring all of these missing people home, whether it be whether we bring them home located safe or not. But either way, they all deserve to be brought home. And so, like I said, it takes many people, takes a team.
Yeah, Steph Dawson's been a big help to me since almost the beginning. She helped me make flyers and things like that. And my brother works behind the scenes a lot of times, notify me when he sees his posts on missing persons. And the profile flyer that's on the profile photo, Jeremy Coots, his mom, Melody Hathaway, she helps from time to time do things and stays in touch with me and things like that. And it's been really nice having her on board too. And of course, now having you with us, helping with the show and things like that. It's and I've had other people in the past help and things like that. And I appreciate everybody's help that's helped me, from back in the beginning up until now.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. Hey, Jeff, to answer your question, we're not quite sure why there's so many runaways right now, other than, they don't have to physically be in school. I think we talked about this last week too, didn't we, Ricky?
A little bit, yeah, we did.
They don't have to physically be in school, so maybe they're just, kind of filling their oats a little bit. I don't know.
Might be a little restless because of the stay-at-home order. I don't know.
Right.
I still think some of it could be just, I've heard situations of where, well, mom got mad at the son or daughter, took the phone, they didn't like it, they left, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or I don't want you seeing that girl or boy, so they leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, good point, Josie. Thank you. You're very correct.
Also, that goes for mushroom hunters and stuff as well. I'm not sure how many mushroom hunters are actually out right now with everything going on, but same goes for the mushroom hunters. Keep your eyes open while you're out there mushroom hunting. You never know what you might stumble onto. But I do want to say, though, if you do find anything that you might suspect might be connected to some kind of a crime or anything, not to touch anything, but to kind of maybe mark a tree nearby where you found it, maybe take a few pictures, and then call 911, have them come out and have them survey it and see if it's of any kind of importance and let them collect it so it doesn't get contaminated.
Yes, please. And if you're in an area that you're not able to call 911.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know most people don't carry brown paper bags with them. I always do, just because I'm a searcher. But if you happen to have a brown paper bag, that's the best thing you can put it in. Please don't put anything in a plastic bag. It will mold and yes, brown paper bag.
Okay. That's
I agree.
I agree too.
100%. Yep. I have to kind of contain my filter a little bit when it comes to that man, which in my eyes, he wasn't a man, but I agree 100% with you.
Yeah, my daughters and my ex-wife deal with a lot of PTSD from one of her past relationships, and I see where my kids deal with PTSD quite a bit, and they're in counseling and see therapists to try to help them get through that.
Right. Yep. Yep. No, you are right. Even if he did have it, it was not an excuse. So
that's true. Okay, Brenda Madera, as soon as we can all learn to love each other regardless, the better this world will be. Stop dividing us by race, creed, or color. Government does that. I agree with that. I do agree. I agree. I'll be the first to say we're all one race, and that's mankind. Bottom line.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do.
Definitely. Definitely. All lives matter regardless.
Yeah. So again, guys, if you have any tips or leads or any little thing at all for any cases, doesn't just have to be Megan's. I just happen to name my search group after Megan because she holds a real special place in my heart.
Right.
I never met her before, but she just really tugs at my heartstrings and gotten close with her mom, Dawn. So anyway, if you have any little bit of piece of information on any case at all, please, message either Ricky's page or my search group page, Missing in Kansas, Megan's Voice. Call KBI. Anyway, any little thing. We're here to help. Like I said, we're here to help bring everyone home. So no matter what the circumstances.
Right. I also do want to say that, if you run across any missing persons posts on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere that you haven't seen on the page yet, please let me know, and I'll see what I can do about getting a flyer made and posted. Sometimes it takes me a little bit to respond because I do work a full-time job outside of this, so I do monitor my messages and stuff from work. It just takes me a little bit to get to them because I have to wait till I'm on break to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, don't hesitate to let me know. I had a gal earlier, or I don't know if it was a gal or not. Somebody messaged me earlier today about doing one from Wilson County, Kansas, and asked me if they could send me information on it. I said, yeah, sure. And they messaged back and said that, oh, you already got it up. Don't worry about it. I said, okay. So yeah. So even if you don't see it, let me know. I mean, I'll let you know that, hey, yeah, thank you for letting me know. I've already got a flyer up, So yeah, I was working on one as we were getting ready to start the show, and I was communicating with the young lady's mom, and I just about had it finished, and she said they had just found her and they thanked me for offering to help. So
good.
Down in Hutchinson.
Good.
They're found in home.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. But anyway, everybody, thank you for a good 8 years. This page has been well received, and I've got nothing but positive feedback with a few minor exceptions along the way. But it's, overall, it's been a really great experience. And I thank everybody for your guys' support, your likes, your shares, your feedback, your comments, and everything. This page wouldn't have grown without all you guys, and I really appreciate the help and everything. Thank you guys. I can't believe it's been 8 years already. It just blows my mind when I think about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you on the next show on May 7th, which will be a week from this Thursday, and we'll have some more cases to go over that night. And everybody have a good night, and God bless, and stay safe.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person the way that I talk, and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm, to this playful assault, to disgrace in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death